We just had our first Diablo 4 Season 2 live chat update, and with it, we got a lot of info about massive changes coming to non seasonal and seasonal. So, with seasonal, first off, we're getting a big new bad vampire lord boss fight. With that, we're getting access to 22 new vampire powers. These powers will do cool things like make your dash a blood mist that can curse enemies, make your channeling abilities curse enemies. This new curse is called a vampire's curse. This makes it so when enemies take damage from you, it is a little extra. But more importantly, when you kill them with this curse, you collect their souls. And then when you use certain abilities, you unleash those souls like homing missiles and just shoot down things. These powers come from a new overworld event that works much like Helltides. It will infect one map zone with the new enemy types that are in the game, the new vampire stuff, new events and such that you can kill, you collect items and currencies around the season, and every 30 minutes it will shift zones. It will always be available, and it's available at level 1, starting at Word Tier 1. The powers also come from seasonal dungeons that feature a nearer mob called the Bloodseeker. Bloodseekers are other barbs, demon hunters, NPCs that unfortunately got cursed by the vampire blood, so they're going to use the abilities that fit their class against you. These powers are equipped by themselves and not through items like the Malignant Hearts were. We're getting a whole new inventory screen for this, and equipping the items will be based on your loyalty to different vampires through an item called packs. You attach the packs, which there are 3 of, to your armor slots, your head, your chest, your legs. You attach it through items we're getting. They will both allow you to target attach different packs and remove packs from items. Important to note, we can remove the seasonal thing from the items this time. It's not like the Malignant Hearts. We were seeking for one socket color, and if we didn't get that socket color, we were screwed on the item. We're going to be able to change the seasonal pact on it that will let us collect resources to then equip these powers. We're getting a lot of things to be excited about in a non-seasonal aspect. First off, we are getting a new endgame bossing system that will feature 5 bosses. This will be available on both the Eternal and Seasonal, and they're staying after the season. This is now a core part of the game. We're getting 2 bosses in World Tier 3, and in World Tier 4, we're getting the same 2 bosses on a higher difficulty, plus 3 new ones, so 5 in total. These bosses will require farming different types of content to gather specific items to summon specific bosses. These summon items can be traded. This will be part of the economy. The bosses will have their own unique cosmetics and specific loopholes that will help you target farm specific build enabling uniques, as well as them having their own uniques that can only drop from them. Out of the 5 new bosses, we got 1 new big baddie, Duriel, King of Maggots. His items to summon him come from 2 other bosses, which is why he's the big Chad. This boss in particular will have a higher chance of dropping Uber uniques. They didn't say the exact drop chance, but they said you will know someone who has them. Either you will have it, or someone in your friend group or clan will have it from farming this boss. When he does drop an Uber unique, it's at 920 item level. Speaking of 920 item level, they're changing how item level progression works. Now monster level will have a direct effect on the item level range of drops in Word Tier 3 and 4. We didn't get all the details cleared, so some of the info may have to wait and some of this might be a little fuzzy, but essentially from Word Tier 4 on, every monster level will increase the minimum and maximum range of the item level by 2, up to a cap at 920 at monster level 100. So at monster level 100, you might be able to get, say, an 840 or a 920 item. So we'll continue to see progression items as we keep killing higher and higher mobs. After level 100, mob level will increase the minimum floor by 1. So the max will stay at 920, but the minimum will go up by 1, making the range tighter and tighter and tighter, so we're much more likely to get a 920 item level. Essentially, we finally have a reason to run high nightmare dungeons. Alright, I don't want the video to go too much longer, but we're getting an insane amount of quality of life stuff that I want to talk about briefly. First off, experience bonuses are going to be multiplicative, right? The elixirs, the seasonal incense, right, you get from the seasonal pass will be multiplicative, all that stuff. So we're going to be getting much more XP gains. On top of that, they're also increasing XP from Helltides and Whispers. They said we should expect to hit level 100 about 40% faster than we currently are. Gems no longer drop, is now a currency for a gem color that you can then take to the drill crafter and craft into specific gems you want. Enchantment costs have been adjusted. It's slightly more expensive at first, but it's progressively cheaper every level afterwards. It progresses much more slower. Speaking of gold, we'll be getting a lot more of it from Whisper caches, which will now also drop higher item power equipment, and will also drop Nightmare Stitchers that will be within a 5-level range of the highest nightmare you have completed, making this a much more relevant content loop. Once we're in War Tier 3, all non-sacred rares, magic, and normal items will automatically drop as crafting mats. And the same thing for War Tier 4 or Ancestral. This is going to help a lot on the whole going back and forth and dropping inventory and picking up loot. It's going to be a lot less of it because it's just going to automatically savage it in the crafting items. Kind of like what happened in Diablo 3. Not this current season, but the season before with the altar, if you guys played. We're also getting a stash tab search function and a filter. The minimap's being zoomed out. We can now hide the annoying text like vulnerable and fortify and combat. We can mark items as favorites finally. Word bosses are being doubled just about. They now spawn every 3.5 hours. Some nightmare dungeons are going to have no objectives. The objective is going to be find the boss and kill it. Other ones are getting layout improvements to help with the flow of it, to reduce backtracking for items. And they're going to get feedback on that to see how we like that. If we enjoy no objectives, we enjoy objectives that are more efficient. Some Nightmare Dungeon affixes have been changed, such as backstabbers. They don't do a bunch of backstabbing damage anymore. They make you vulnerable back hits instead. Overall, CC was reduced across the board. Horse mounting cooldowns have been cut in half, so it only takes 5 seconds to get back in your horse instead of 10. The horse base speed was slightly increased. Improvements were made for the horse on mouse and keyboard. Renown rewards now carry from season to season. Scrolls of escape are consumed on disconnect automatically for hardcore characters. And there's much more tiny but important changes that add up that I'm not going to get into here. We are getting another live update on the 10th that's going to talk about the class changes, the unique item changes, and resistances reworked, which they have said will be important for boss fights because every Uber boss will have resistance attached to it. Thank you guys for checking out. Thanks for watching. I hope I was able to talk about this in a fast, clear, efficient way for you guys. Make sure to like the video if I did. Leave any comments about feedback if I didn't. And come check out my other content I have. Let me know if this info will make it so you play Season 2 or not. Thanks for hanging.